Heather, it's time now for Ask the Expert. One of the most important things about starting a running routine is finding the right shoe.
Absolutely, and our personal trainer, Allison Schnelly from the Kaizen Studio Fitness Center, joining us this afternoon to talk about running shoes. I know when I first started running about 5-6 years ago, I did not have the right shoe, and I hurt.
You paid for it.
I mean,
all the difference.
It's really important to make sure you've got the right cushioning under your foot or the right support under your foot, depending on what you need.
It really is. You know, as a runner, you don't need a lot of equipment to run, but you do need a good shoe. And I have a lot of people say, what's the best running shoe? And really, there is no correct answer to that because every person is different and every running strike is different.
Okay.
So you do need to start, you're first going to start and look at what type of running are you doing? Are you training for a marathon? Or are you a new runner or maybe even a walker? So you're going to want to make sure you're looking at what kind of program you're doing. Also, what kind of foot do you have? Look at your arch. Do you have a high rigid arch? Are you someone with a collapsed arch? Or are you someone with a flat foot? Because if you think about when you strike the ground, if your arch collapses in and your foot kind of turns to the inside, your knee is going to drop to the inside of your body, and then that's going to cause pain up your leg. So you do want to watch that. So there's different types of shoes. You have stability control shoes, you have motion control shoes, and then you have regular shoes.
This is a don't.
That is a don't. That is actually a basketball shoe, and I do see people running in things like basketball shoes, you know, and bigger, really heavy tennis shoes. So that's more of a a basketball shoe that's going to help. Ankle support. You don't need that necessarily when you're running. This is going to be more of a neutral shoe. So this is, you know, really light shoe. Depending on what you're doing, this is going to be a really good shoe. This is my personal running shoe, and I have a high arch, and I also have an old ankle injury. That's also something else to look at. Do you have injuries? Are you prone to injuries? Have you had an injury in the past? I personally have had a bad ankle injury, so I pronate. My foot rolls in, and that affects my knee. So this shoe helps support that, and you can see it right there in the gray. The support. You also want to think about what terrain you're running on. So these two shoes are really good to look at. You're looking at the bottom. So this is going to be a trail running shoe. You can see that there's a lot of traction on this shoe. This is if you're out running the trails. And then this next one is a minimalistic running shoe. So this gives very little support, but this is going to be maybe a racing shoe. This tends to replace some flats for runners. But just even looking at the bottom of the shoe, the arch support.
The best advice here, go to a store.
Absolutely.
There's a great little shop. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to give any free advertising, but over there on Oakland Avenue, they put me on the treadmill and they made me run until we found the right shoe.
And we saw that at the beginning here. Most running stores, almost all running stores now, will for free put you on a treadmill, watch your running, slow it down, and really look at what happens to your foot and your leg as you're striking the ground. They will give you great advice. They are professionals there in what to do as far as running shoes go, or as far as what running shoes to buy. So definitely go to a store and get a professional person's advice.
All right, Allison Schnelly, thank you. Got a question for any of our experts? Please send an email to asktheexpert@tmj4.com. You may also leave a voicemail at the